gentlemen. Welcome to your 6 o'clock news here on PTB Channel 4. My name is Perry Schmiedler. Taylor Sharp and Bailey Hamilton will be joining us shortly. Big news tonight, folks, regarding William Tecumseh Sherman. We will have live coverage for you on his latest attack here in just a few moments. Just to remind you, Sherman and his 60,000-man army, accompanied by Kilpatrick's cavalry, began their march back on November 15th. Sherman is being escorted on his march by the 1st Alabama Cavalry Regiment, made up of Southerners who remained loyal to the Union. The army started their march by taking 2 prisoners at Lovejoy Station and then capturing 50 rebels at Bear Creek Station. They continued through Gordon and then turned east towards the city of Augusta. After turning south and on the path to the capital, the state legislature called for citizens to flee the city or be burned to death by Sherman. Sherman and his men arrived in the capital city on the 23rd of November and held a mock legislative session and jokingly voted Georgia back into the Union at the Capitol building. Then, at the Battle of Gridwoldsville, the cavalry killed 3 and captured 18. The militia launched several hours of poorly coordinated attacks, eventually retreating with 1,100 casualties, while the Union only had 100 deaths to their count. Then, on December 10th, Sherman arrived in Savannah, only to find Confederates ready and prepared for battle. After a couple of days of waiting, on the 13th, some of his men stormed Fort McAllister and captured it in just 15 short minutes. The city of Savannah decided to surrender to Sherman and give him the key to the city. After marching through and burning several more cities, William T. Sherman's army headed to Columbia, South Carolina. Today at 10 a.m., Columbia Mayor Goodwin was prepared to surrender the city to Sherman. The mayor was assured that the city would not be harmed except for some public government buildings. We now go live to field reporter Perry Schmiedler, who is in the middle of the chaos down in Columbia. Perry?
I'm Perry Schmiedler reporting live from Columbia, South Carolina. As you can see, flames are everywhere. Sherman came in here and is just burning this town up. This right here used to be a church. It is gone. This man has no mercy for this town. Everything is gone. Look, it's burning right here. The fire department's trying to put it out. They got a lot of work to do. God, I don't know what to say. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that report, Perry. We will be right back after these messages from our sponsors. Introducing new Avery Island brand Tabasco pepper sauce. It will give your life that extra kick. Spicy!
Tabasco, the original pepper seasoning. Well, hello there, and welcome back to PTB Channel 4. I'm Bailey Hamilton. Today I'll be doing a special report on Reconstruction after the Civil War. On April 11th, 1865, 2 days after the Confederate General Robert E. Lee's surrender, President Abraham Lincoln delivered a public address in which he described a very generous Reconstruction policy and told the people he hoped they would have compassion and open-mindedness through the process. The plan Lincoln enforced is called the 10% Plan. Each southern state must have at least 10% of their population take a loyalty oath to be admitted back into the Union. Radical Republicans disagree with this plan. They believe the South should be treated as conquered territories. President Lincoln's argument to this is that states are not legally allowed to secede from the Union, as stated in the Constitution, so there were no territories to be conquered. Since President Abraham Lincoln's assassination by John Wilkes Booth, Andrew Johnson, vice president to Lincoln, has taken over as president. Unfortunately, Johnson was not ready to fill the shoes of Abraham Lincoln. Meanwhile, in the South, because of this generous Reconstruction policy, the same Southern government officials are reelected into office, passing laws like black codes that basically keep the black people as slaves, even though the 13th Amendment states that slavery was abolished. This does not settle well with Congress, so they present the Civil Rights Act of 1866, which says all races are equal and the black codes have to be abolished. As usual, President Johnson vetoed the bill. Congress overruled with a 2/3 vote in both the House and the Senate.
Thank you, Bailey. Now here's Taylor Sharp with a very special report.
As many of you may know, President Abraham Lincoln was assassinated on April 14th, just 5 days after the commander of the Confederate Army of Northern Virginia, General Robert E. Lee, surrendered to Lieutenant General Ulysses S. Grant in the Union Army. On April 14th, the President was enjoying Our American Cousin at Ford's Theater with Mrs. Lincoln and a young officer named Major Henry R. Rathbone and his fiancée. A mysterious man came into the presidential box, aimed and shot President Lincoln in the left ear. Rathbone lunged at the murderer and was slashed in the arm with a knife. The assassin then jumped over the railing and escaped the building. The man responsible for the murder has now been identified as John Wilkes Booth. Booth is a Southern sympathizer from Bel Air, Maryland. We now have an exclusive interview with the assassin himself, John Wilkes Booth.
Why did you decide to kill Abraham Lincoln?
Because he wanted citizenship. I knew when I heard him say it would be the last speech he would ever give. I heard he was going to be at the theater that day, and I got everyone together because I knew it had to happen then before he destroyed any more of the South.
What was your original plan?
Well, we wanted to kidnap him and take him down south to exchange him for all the good men they held prisoner in the north, but we can never successfully get him, so we had to change our plans to destroy him instead.
What exactly did you hope to accomplish?
I had to do it for my country. He wanted to take all the to be free and destroy the South. I had to do it to protect everyone from the madness and avenge for the South.
What did you say after you shot him?
Sic Semper Tyrannis!
What exactly does that mean?
Thus always to tyrants.
Folks, I guess that's all we have. Well, folks, I guess that's all we have for tonight. Back to you in the studio, Perry.
That John Wilkes Booth, what a character. Thank you, Taylor. Now let's send it back over to Bailey to finish up her report on Reconstruction. Bailey?
As President Johnson's authority starts to be taken less seriously, radical Republicans start taking over Reconstruction in the United States. First by passing the 14th Amendment, which is equal protection to all citizens, including former slaves. In the Reconstruction of 1867, Congress forces the South to let black people integrate into society. On March 7, 1867, the U.S. Congress, still under the control of the radical Republicans, again in spite of Johnson's veto, passed the Military Reconstruction Act. This act sought to rebuild the government of the South using government of northern states as examples. It was also put in to ensure rights of blacks. This act also divided the South into 5 military districts. These territories were placed under the control of the U.S. military. The South was also required to elect new government officials. At this point, Congress is getting tired of President Andrew Johnson. The impeachment comes up 1 vote short. At the next election, Ulysses S. Grant is elected into office as president. He then passes the 15th Amendment of the Constitution, voting rights to all races.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have with you this evening. From all of us at PTB Studios, good night.